Dude, who are all these people in chat? Like, what is happening right now? That's the real question. Alice A's first fake husband. At least it's not Alex's plant in the background because I don't have a plant anymore because we moved. So
Or
boom,
Zach's light. Zach's
Zach's
wall
light.
light.
Yeah, you still have. I like how you still have the same setup though in your new place as you did in the other place, basically.
Except for the wall light. I don't
Yeah.
have the wall light.
And then we got the Stanleys. Alice has been here. She's been like waiting in chat too. Like that's nuts. That never happens. Colin, what is up, dude? Let's talk about Colin and him. I don't know if we've talked about it yet, but Colin meeting Hayden and uh Ewan too.
You
We
met
need,
both of them?
yeah, I need to like I don't remember, but yeah, dude, he sent me he got like the cool meet and greet photos with Hayden because obviously Hayden did it there, but he didn't do it in California because it's like, well, fuck Californians, right? So that's that's that
I
seems
would
to
have
be what it is.
cried. If I
Yeah,
met
I
both
would
of
have.
them,
Yeah, imagine you would have cried. Imagine Amanda, dude. Jesus. She would have just like not have left. She would have just been like, "Okay, so where are we going, Hayden?" And I would have been like, "Okay, well, fuck me then."
what's up, Bala?
What up?
Sal,
What up?
welcome in. Welcome everybody to the Evil Ewok podcast. Just in case you didn't know where you were, that's where we're at.
Is that where we
Um,
are?
that's where we're at. Says so in the title. But we're gonna be mostly talking about the Bad Batch today because that's what's relevant. For those of you who weren't there the other night, we live streamed the Bad Batch. Well, we had a watch party because live streaming it would be illegal.
We
But
have the full rights from Lucasfilm.
yeah, only us. We watched it, and just to recap our thoughts, what did you think about it, Alex? The first two episodes that dropped.
Uh, I mean, even being a couple whiskey drinks deep and it being 2 a.m., I wasn't too enthralled or enthused with it, but I felt like that's just because we were expecting a lot more coming into season two, after season one kind of having an amazing first episode and everything else just being filler, if you will, for the next season. That's kind of how it felt. So I guess in essence, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible, right? And it's really tough to judge because we still got a ton more episodes left. And obviously a lot of cool cameos coming up. So I guess we'll see how it all ties in and how the writing does then. But for me, it was more of the same, right, from season one. So not great, but we got a couple cool little tidbits in there. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were fine. Um, I don't think that they really felt like it didn't really feel like a big premiere or anything to me. It really felt like just two like average Bad Batch episodes that could have taken place at any point in the season. Like nothing real big picture happened. There were no real revelations aside from the Dooku stuff, which wasn't even that big of a revelation in of itself. But it was fine. I think we just agree that we weren't like mad or anything. We just weren't really. We were pretty whelmed.
Yeah. I mean, and the bar was set pretty low already, going
Yeah.
into Andor. And then from Andor, we got Bad Batch, which is like a significantly different medium of storytelling, let alone, it not being live action. So animations in general are just gonna be very different and a very different vibe as well. Um a lot more crazy stunts, if you will, right? I remember you had a couple issues with just Omega being able to pull off
Oh yeah.
some crazy Jedi stunts, and her obviously not being a Jedi. But I guess it remains to be seen who she really is. That's kind of going to be a big question for this season for them to answer. Uh, the Dooku Palace thing, I think, was cool in the trailer. Like we're like, oh, what does that mean? What's it going to be? And then we predicted exactly how it was going to happen. We're like, oh, it's probably just going to be a heist. If you guys watch back, we didn't see it beforehand. We predicted exactly how that place was revealed, and that just seeing that made me chuckle a little bit. And I'm like, oh god, I hope it's not as predictable as
I
the
we
rest
got
of it.
everything except for like the phrase war chest right. Like I even like impersonated Sid and I was like, you want you guys to go to Serrano to Dooku's castle and steal some stuff. If I just
You want
replaced
to
some
be
stuff.
free?
Yeah, you want to be free? If I had replaced some stuff with war chest, people would have thought I was like psychic or something.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just not. Obviously it's building up and everything, but we're as Star Wars fans, we're really not expecting the works anymore. We're not expecting incredible writing or things to really predict anymore, because it's a lot of it's very predictable, and that sucks. But I guess we'll see how the next couple of episodes come in. Is there anything else from this? Got people in chat? Anything else from the episode that we missed? Oh, we talked about sorry, what's his name? Wilco.
Well, go.
Uh,
Yeah, we I feel like every time they even spend a little time like developing a clone character, everybody just loves them. Like nobody ever really hates clones. Like they're just like,
yeah.
oh yeah, that guy's awesome, even though he was the antagonist for the 2 episodes.
It's like, man, it's like they're so it's so refreshing to see just the pure, like it's like a purity thing. It's like we got the clones, they're like the real ones, and then anything
Yeah,
else is like nothing, right? And we need to preserve them and save them as much as we can because we love them so much. So the fact that they're against each other is like sucks and is sad. But I think one thing that still kind of like ears me a weird way, and I don't know if it ears you the wrong way too. Everyone might disagree with me here, but like the whole stunning thing, still, I don't, I understood in the beginning because they were in shock and they didn't want to kill their brothers, but it's like they're no longer their brothers anymore, right? And they're now completely separated from everyone else with like the chip activated, right? And they got to do what they got to do because what if they come? I don't know how long the sun lasts. That's probably my own issue, but like, what if they get up and then all of a sudden they're over? Like, there's like, you know, hundreds instead of like the five that they're killing in the ending, right? Like, what if they're surrounded constantly before they were able to get the elevator down, right? Just because they're stunning everyone.
yeah.
So like, they
I
should
I
probably be killing, right? I mean, I hate to
yeah.
say it, but
I understand why they would do it because, like you said, they're brothers and whatnot. But it's the kind of thing where I compare it to like when Batman and Spider Man are like, "Oh, I don't kill," but yet they'll like put these enemies in positions to where like you might as well have just killed them. Like Wrecker's using his grenade launcher and he's totally killing people or clones with that thing.
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it's just like you're or you like stun someone and then they fall to their death. It's like, well, I didn't technically kill them.
Yeah.
The ground did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it was weird because Wrecker was shooting that thing. Like, people, like clones were blowing up, running away, and then Hunter's chasing after him, stunning him. Right? It's like, okay, um,
Yeah, I need to lay off the cigarettes, Alice. This cough.
dude,
Don't
his
don't
illness
smoke.
makes his voice deeper and more raspier. He's like straight out of Yellowstone. It's beautiful.
But my resolve has never been stronger.
Yeah. We talked about how she isn't feminine enough anymore, but since I'm not that fussed on her, really, I guess it doesn't matter. Um,
Omega.
oh yeah, we talked about, yeah, like how she's not really a feminine character. She kind of picked up the tomboy type of thing, but she's just trying to be like her brothers, right? Her relatives, if you will, because she's altered just like them. So she just wants to be more like them and earn her keep or whatever. So I mean, I don't have very many issues with it.
Yeah, I mean they could do they did this a little bit in season 1 with Fennec, but having like a I mean, Fennec wasn't really a role model, but like having like a female role model for her would be kind of cool. That isn't Sid because Sid is the worst. And yeah, that's all I have to say about Sid. Hashtag, can we get hashtag kill Sid in the or death to Sid going in
Hashtag no
chat?
more side quests. Kill Sid.
Michael Keaton can kill whoever he wants. Damn right. Michael Keaton's such a talented dude.
Was he? Wait, who's the lead actor in that McDonald, the founder?
That's him.
That's Michael Keaton, right?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
sure.
I
Yeah.
was just trying to make sure. But yeah, he's amazing. I love that guy. It's like
Yeah, that's a
Ahsoka.
good
They're
point.
not bad guys, and she won't be the one to kill them on purpose. Then again, Omega doesn't have a stun setting on her
Yeah.
bow. Yeah,
Omega's
it's
just
just like
just
whoops.
smoking people.
Yeah, is that the same bow from like the Night Sisters? Is that what that is?
It's similar. I don't know if it's the exact same, but it's definitely similar.
Yeah, I like just thought of that today.
Thank you, Bala.
At least we have one supporter.
That is
Sid is
sad.
sad. Sid is sad. I like that. Hashtag Sid is sad. Wonder if
Yeah, I
Cody will
mean,
follow up what happens in Sereno.
the thing with Cody is that I don't see him also like falsifying any reports though. unless he's able to take a more broad view of the situation and be like, well, it's for the greater good, blah blah blah. Because I feel
For
like
the greater good.
yeah, but I feel like his act like he's always a pretty honorable, like straightforward commander, and I think he would have done the same thing as Wilco.
She got the bow from the slaver Zygarians.
I blocked out all the filler episodes in my mind, but that does sound right.
Was that an episode? We saw the
Yeah, it was.
Zygarians again?
Wasn't it the
Briefly though,
one
right?
with the little Rancor?
Oh my god, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of episodes it really didn't matter. They were just kind of like side quests, which I mean, has they have their merits, but it's like we want story. We want
Moochie.
storytelling.
Yeah, Moochie, the Rancor.
Mochi.
Moochie. I just remember how she says Moochie.
I love Ray, but if Omega ends up being her mom for real, it's how boring.
I don't think you have to worry about that, Alice.
That would be a new era of just
I would be so pissed.
yeah, that would be so weird. It would be bizarre. It would just be like, yeah, not only are we getting a prequel of a prequel of a prequel for a series, right? Because they're so creatively bankrupt and they're not going anywhere else. But to just kind of throw in things like that for already established, sequel characters that no one really cares about, that's just even dumber. Oh,
Shall we move on to? We have the title for next week's episode, The Solitary Clone. Who do you think this is talking about?
I'm leaning heavily towards it being Rex, right? We're probably gonna get that holocron. We're probably gonna get that hologram where he pops up and he's like, "I need you for a mission," right? I think that's gonna be like the setting for like probably the entire season. I don't know. It's gonna be Rex kind of asking for help, and then they're gonna probably encounter Cody along the way. But the solitary clone is probably gonna be Rex, is what I'm thinking. If it's Cody, you think we're gonna get Cody that early? Episode 3? I don't think so.
I don't know. I was thinking it's probably Crosshair. I would love a Crosshair episode because he's a
Or
loner,
Crosshair too. That's true.
aka Mike Pence.
Yeah, Mike Pence. Oh, we don't have that image anymore.
We have it in that like reel of
Yeah,
our
we have it in the
highlights.
reel. So funny, man.
Good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, that's true. So it'll probably be Crosshair obviously meets Cody because of the trailers. So I wonder how they get paired up or how they find each other or whatever happens.
That's the attitude, Colin. Sleep is for the weak.
Yeah, just push through it, dude. God.
Yeah.
The theory is that Hauser and Cody will eventually team with possibly Crosshair or the Bad Batch to start a clone rebellion, and maybe that will further give the Empire more reason to move away from the clones.
I do hope we see Hauser again. That man had some glorious hair.
Yeah, either he died or they upped the ante with the chip on him, like they did with Crosshair. But I mean, they did that with Crosshair because he was obviously loyal to them, right? And they wanted to make him even more loyal. Whereas we don't know what they would have done with the Bad Batch if they actually did keep them in confinement, right?
Remember when we all thought that the Bad Batch was going to be staying loyal to the Empire for like 5 episodes? And then they would like
kind of like what we thought was going to happen in Battlefront. And
yeah.
then we get 2 episodes of her working with the Empire. Then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, the Empire's bad. I'm a rebel now." And it's like, well, that wasn't fun.
I just want one time for them to stay, like for some like main character of a show to stay Imperial for like a while. We get it. The Empire's bad. Like you don't need to lecture us that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, Hauser going to be taken to Mount Tantus. Yeah, that's the mountain at the very end of season 1, right? That we have to get
Yeah.
all the
What if
info on.
they turn him into a howitzer cannon?
Whoa. And that's how they got the name.
It's just his head on a our anti-air gun.
They're like, "Oh, it's Hauser. We can't.
He's our brother.
We can't do it." And then she's like,
stun him.
Oh man.
Man,
It would be
if Fulcrum was here, he could edit that.
Maybe like make a meme Fulcrum. We need to find him. Someone find Fulcrum. We need him back.
Bring him to us. alive.
I think I think the Clone Rebellion thing is definitely a possibility, though. I just have an idea that you know the rebellion will be in the third season. We're not going to have it this time, but they
Yeah.
go for a third season. That is, which I think they will.
Have they said? I don't think they've said how many they plan on going for, but 3 or 4 would feel right.
Yeah. Whereas with Kenobi, one sounds just right.
Yeah, I don't want any more Kenobi anymore, which is sad.
Did you hear? Actually, I totally forgot. Did you hear about the new and like? Well, I don't know if it's if it holds merit or anything, but there was an announcement about a new show with Dave and John.
No.
Um, Pat, can you help me out here? Do you guys see that news? I need to find the the post. But basically, yeah, there's just another. They're doing another standalone show with in between prequels and and the original trilogy. Um, but it's going to be a show run by Dave and John, and I'm just like, it's just more of the same. Like, can we get other
Yeah,
stuff?
I was gonna say, can we just like not have a show set between the prequels and original trilogy? I mean,
Like, isn't that
God,
what the past three shows have been?
yeah, yeah. So like Kenobi and yeah, totally. Hmm.
What was the Rogue Squadron gonna be? Is that gonna be original trilogy or is that gonna be
I think
like
it was gonna
slightly
be
after?
after.
Like slightly
I
after though? Like but not
Yeah, I
like
could be
before?
wrong. I could be wrong. I think it was like slightly after.
Omega. I'm trying to find it now. I saw it on Instagram this morning, but I can't find it on Twitter. But anyway, that's basically it. It was just John Favreau and Dave Filoni were showrunning another in between prequel and original trilogy show, which I don't know what it's going to be, but I think it's going to be animated too. So it's like, okay,
Oh, that's interesting. Don't they like have enough to do already? I mean, Jesus.
yeah. Are they done filming Ahsoka? So now they're just like, let's film something else.
That was fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Give me Rogue Squadron film post Tros with Top Gun pilots Hera and Wedge.
You know, a Star Wars style with like Top Gun style, where we actually see, like, it's more like from the pilot's perspective, isn't a terrible idea.
No, I just don't think it was the thing to do right after like The Rise of Skywalker flopped. Because they that was the first thing they announced. Like, oh, we're gonna do this Patty
Yeah,
Jenkins.
I just don't think Patty Jenkins could have written something that would have been like Top Gun, right? Like it would have been a completely different type of, you know, Top Gun style, right? And it probably wouldn't have been as good. But I mean, that's my
Yeah.
opinion.
I don't like Patty Jenkins really I lost my faith in her with Wonder Woman 2 was awful. I watched like 20 minutes of it and it was so the first 20 minutes were so bad compared to the first Wonder Woman movie. It was like what happened? Like what did you do? I don't want you doing Star Wars
Dude, the
now. Like
CGI was so bad at the end. Oh my god, it was like 30 minutes of just awful CGI. That's
I
where
did
I was
not make
like,
it
they're
that
gonna
far.
greenlight another one. Are you fucking serious? And then I saw the reviews and I'm like, oh no, they're not.
No, they're not. And then the whole DCU got canceled and now you're safe.
Yeah,
You're
she's
safe.
lost out on like 4 different jobs now in big franchises. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, I've heard that part of her issue is that she doesn't really believe in collaboration. Like she just wants everybody to do what she wants to do. And that is not what film is about. Like that is such a terrible way to look at the filmmaking process. Like you're not a dictator. Like you're supposed to be it's a collaborative medium.
Were you a High Republic fan? I still haven't read it. I don't know much about it at all.
So
But
I've read I want to say like 4 of them. I don't hate it. I don't like it. It's kind of just eh. I'm glad it's something different. I've always said that about it. I'm glad that they're pushing the boundaries of like new eras, but I don't particularly like think it's amazing. It's just it's fine.
do you think it would be something refreshing to kind of explore that area of Star Wars with a show or something, or do you think it's like not there yet, or do you think it'd be better to do something else?
Well, I mean, they're going to with Acolyte, but
I
I
just in
think
general
that
is
I
what I'm
I
asking because I
would
don't know anything about the High Republic really. I just know the time frame.
I'd be for it. Um, I just don't want to do the same time period that they've been doing for the last like 8 years. Like, let's do something else. Like, whether that's High Republic, Old Republic, whether it's post sequels, just freaking anything. Just do something new, as Morrison would say. Try something new.
Yeah, it's just nice to know that they aren't creatively bankrupt and explore something that maybe takes risks, right? And I think the moment the moment Star Wars shines is when they take risks. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
Um, like they don't just appeal to everyone. They just explore a new character, a new area, a new spot that's maybe uh, disjointed in between two different things or after certain things. Like sometimes they succeed really well when they know they have to produce something great. They can't just use name recognition to make money. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I don't know if they are. I know that they want to have at least 75% of their portfolio with name recognition so that they can make at least 1 million on each project, right? Um, it's just it's just nuts to me. I am excited to I think the biggest one for me, I don't know how everyone else feels for the landscape for this year is um Ahsoka wise. I think is like the most exciting thing for me because I really wanted to see Thrawn in live action. But the thing is, if they absolutely butcher him and make him very basic, it's just gonna ruin. I think that might be the nail in the coffin for a lot of Star Wars fans, right? If they were to ruin Thrawn.
I'm worried that that whole show isn't gonna be good. That'd be really tough if that show's not good.
Are you
Um,
able to separate Rosario and Ashley?
yeah, I prefer Ashley, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't really have an issue separating the two mediums, right? Like to me, they're both Ahsoka. Like the live
yeah,
action's more gritty and it's more realistic, and then the animation's more like fluffy with her voice and everything. So I just kind of always I don't know I kind of like both of them. Like they're both different takes and they're both entertaining and they're both great actors and everything. But I do worry, yeah, like showing Ahsoka and then like for an entire series in like a non-animated standpoint is hopefully they have the budget they're throwing into it as they did with Andor or even more because they're going to need it to make it look as good as it needs to be.
yeah. I mean, here's like another issue or a concern I have about the show is that they're gonna have to walk this line, this very fine line where I'm willing to bet a lot of Star Wars fans haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, and it seems like a lot of the events that are going to take place in Ahsoka are predicated on, things that happen in Star Wars Rebels. Like, it seems like they're going to go looking for Ezra and Thrawn. But the problem with that is if you didn't watch Rebels, you have no idea who Ezra is, and you probably don't know who Thrawn is. And that's all fine and well. So you're going to have to teach people who they are in the show naturally. But that raises another concern. It's like, so you're gonna have all this rebel stuff, but are you gonna have it be too like basic and like too like kind of how the sequels did it, where it's like you're not getting very deep and there's not all these like things that like true fans would know, um, because you have to make it really general for the general audience, or are they gonna be able to mix it up and do like both really well? That's hard, but I think Dave Filoni can do it. It's a tricky thing that they're gonna have to execute.
Yeah, I mean, he transcends like surface level storytelling, right? Like he's really good at going above and beyond, but it's just a matter on whether or not he can in this and um how much time he was given or who he's working with, if there's pushback, right? I think one of the big most important things is if there's someone that, like, for example, like I know Tony Gilroy was definitely like sticking to his guns with what he wanted, and they respected his writing, right? Whereas if there's any issues with a Dave Filoni section of the script or a John Favreau section of the script, is anyone going to be like, well, this would actually be better here? Is that even happening at all? Is also another question, right? Is everyone just a bunch of yes men because they get to work on Star Wars? So that's like the reason why George Lucas was creating pieces that stand so well and it's stood the test of time is because he was like his own worst critic, right? Like he consistently went back, revised, changed, altered, did everything, right? And if anything wasn't perfect, he took the time, right? Like Phantom Menace was delayed so long, and the CGI still holds up, right? And there's CGI that's made today that doesn't even hold up at all. It was always bad, right? So
Yeah.
it's really all about the art, and I hope that they really realize that.
I like, what if Hayden isn't in it? Like, that
Oh,
would
like
piss
those leaks?
so many
Yeah.
people off, like, oh my god, like, they have
Or
to
they
have him
cut
in
it.
it.
They just, like, cut the scene. Like, "Well, we didn't
Ugh.
actually want him to be in it, so we cut it." It didn't make sense.
I
Um,
wonder if they know that he has to be in it, because if he's not in it, oof, there's gonna be backlash if he's not in it at all.
if it's, like it's gonna be really weird, though, because if it's, like, flashback scenes where she's young Ahsoka and he's, like, young Anakin, and he just still isn't de-aged and he looks really old with a wig, I'm gonna
He
be
looks
like
even older this
yeah,
time.
I'm just gonna be like, "Dude, this is like, just make him look young." Like, not that he doesn't look young, it's just obviously when you're I don't know, when he's 17, 18 and in in, um, Attack of the Clones or 20, however old he was, like, he looks young as shit, he doesn't have any lines, right? He has no frown lines, he doesn't have any of these, and he has all of them in this one, and I think they shoulda just done the Revenge of the Sith Hayden, or Anakin
Yeah,
for the training session, to be honest. That would've kind of sat well with a lot more people, I think,
because
but
he looked fine in, the brief shots we got of him during Operation Nightfall when he was killing younglings. Like, he looked passable, because probably because the lighting was darker and it was just brief shots and whatnot. But I am tired of them, specifically. This is a problem Kenobi had. I'm tired of them, like, pretending that, like, the animated shows have nothing to do with, like, the live action stuff. Like, Kenobi basically ignored every single episode of the Clone Wars. Like, it made no references. They could have done it. They could have had him, like, talk about Satine. They could have mentioned Ahsoka, or, like, just, like, you know how cool it would have been to have, like, Ewan McGregor say the name Ahsoka Tano or Satine, like Satine Kryze. Like, gee, like, it would have been so cool, and it would have given, like, such good connective tissue. And they just don't do it for whatever reason, because they're like, oh no, nobody who watched the prequels watched the Clone Wars too. That's
yeah.
inconceivable.
Yeah, we need to appeal to the people that have only seen the films, and it's like, why?
Yeah. Sam Witwer, he would. That man knows his stuff.
Yeah, did you hear the story about how he got his job?
I saw that short,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just saw that the other day, and I'm like, "That's cool, man." Like, he knew what he was getting into before he got into it. That's just a good case for life, right? You can if you can show them how you can bring value to whatever you're applying for, right? They'll be like, "Well, shit, I'll hire this guy," right? Um,
Wow, Alice. Typical Alice leaving us.
typical Alice leaving all the time.
Yeah,
Where was I gonna go with that? Yeah, like I mean, with Satine, I mean, I was the biggest advocate to hear him say Satine or even mention Satine or even have a flashback of Satine. That's the biggest thing. I was like, oh, they're probably just gonna have a flashback. It's gonna be gut wrenching, and I'm gonna love every second of it. And then we just got scenes from Revenge of the Sith, right?
yeah.
We got no new footage. It's all older footage, obviously, and something that fan edits have been doing way better for years, right? Um,
So you know how, with the music, how you had that, like, sneaking suspicion how they weren't gonna use any, like, classic prequel music, and then Kat and I were like, "No, no." The Satine thing was, like, the reverse of that. Like, I was like,
Yeah,
"They're not
yeah,
gonna do it, dude."
yeah,
And you were like, "No,
yeah.
they have to." And I was like,
My
"I
emotions were like, "They have to. Shut the fuck up."
They should've." Like, I agree with you, they should've, but I just had this sneaking suspicion that they weren't gonna do it, and god damn it.
Yeah, I just had too much PTSD from, The Rise of Skywalker when they had Duel of Fates, and I'm like, "Oh, are they gonna have, like, a refreshing ad of that track? Like, a new remix or redux of that track? Or are they gonna do something cool with it? Are they ever gonna use it?" And then they just never used it. It was all promotional material, so I was like, "They're probably gonna do that." After hearing it, I'm all hyped up, but I know what's gonna happen, and unfortunately, I was right, and I hate to say that I was right, but, you know, it is what it is. I did a video asking him about Kenobi, he loved it, then some asshole stole my video and spined a dumb narrative. Death. You're muted. Or am I muted?
No, I muted.
Oh,
I muted it to cough, and then sometimes when I press the button, it doesn't unmute me.
oh,
Charlie's popping off.
dude. I'm like trying to interpret what he said. Asking who? Asking Sam?
Sam, I'm
Oh,
assuming.
okay. Stole my video and spent a dumb narrative. Oh, interesting.
It was probably Mike
I wouldn't.
Zero.
Oh my god. I went to his page the other day, man. That guy gets like no views now. And yet he
He's
still
like
puts out.
got no reputation, basically.
Yeah. Well, anyway, are we off to the next topic?
I think so.
Okay. This is something I didn't really we kind of put off talking about on Tuesday. Was this on Tuesday or Wednesday? Was this yesterday? Wait,
It was 2 days ago. We saw it on the night of Bad Batch, and we just didn't talk about it.
going into Wednesday, right? Yeah, so this was technically yesterday.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, yeah, there's this there's a bunch of fans going around outraged and upset with how they portray the Bad Batch in animation, saying that it is far too whitewashed and that they should bring back skin tones and diversity in Star Wars or whatever. And which, there's I guess there is merit sometimes to some of these complaints in Hollywood, but for this one I just don't quite understand, and I'm actually having a very hard time understanding it because um, to to be fair, Tamora, he is a relatively lighter skinned New Zealander, right? He's of Maori descent, and he's, I don't know, Maori, I think how you say it, and he's relatively lighter skinned, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing because I feel like when you see the clones, they obviously aren't a bunch of white men, at least in my opinion. As a brown person, I feel like I can identify them as not being predominantly all white or whitewashed, but I mean, well, I guess that remains to be seen with the public, because on this petition here, which is kind of bizarre, I didn't even know it existed until recently. 4,049 people have signed this petition to unwhitewash the Bad Batch for an issue that I didn't even know was an issue in the first place. So, Zach, I ask you and I ask chat, can you help me understand where this comes from and why this is a thing?
I mean, I think you'd have to ask the people who made the petition because, like, I could they be a little darker? Maybe, I guess. Like, but there's certain like these are altered clones. Like, I mean, like Echo, he's clearly white because he was experimented on and then kept in like a bunker for years. But I, I just feel like this ain't it. Like, this isn't the fight that you need to make. Like it.
There,
They're
yeah,
I mean, just looking at like comparisons between Tamora and their skin tone, like it looks close enough to me. Like maybe he's a little darker, but it's not like they're it's not like they're freaking John Smiths out here walking around like with blue
yeah,
eyes
yeah,
and
yeah. They're not a bunch of like Jason Statham looking clones, right? They didn't completely change the. I mean, I don't know. Like when you actually think about it, I mean, you could probably make that argument for anything, but for me, I'm not bothered by it. I don't feel like it's a problem. But the fact that there's 4,000 people over here that have signed it and are hashtagging on Twitter all about it, it's very bizarre. And yeah, like they're clones, right? So they're all going to be similar to each other, except for the Bad Batch. But I guess maybe the fact that they thought that this would have been a good opportunity to make them darker because they're not all the same looking clones. They're all different and genetically modified. So I don't know. It seems bizarre to me.
yeah, and I think the creators responded. Let me bring up an article about it because they let's see. They even, like, corrected the skin tones, they said. They made some corrections. Yeah, interestingly, in season 1, before season 1 came out, we were always doing this. We went back to look at the Bad Batch's skin tones, and we made some corrections to make sure that we were being true to the legacy of clones in the original animated series. So it seems like they're cognizant of the importance of accurately portraying the skin tones.
I mean, honestly, Disney is usually over the top with a lot of this stuff. So it's bizarre to me that it's kind of an issue right now. So like here it says we we the undersigned wait we the undersigned are Star Wars fans reaching out due to our deep concerns with the new series Star Wars: The Bad Batch. We feel that elements of the show, including many character models and aspects of the writing, are alienating and harmful to fans of color. But nothing in here is talking about writing. It's just straight skin color. So like I'm just curious, what about the writing? Right? You know, like what I'm they might describe it in here. I don't know if we should really read all this. It just seems kind of uh tedious and unnecessary. But uh
Wait, I'm like spotting a discrepancy in their argument. Like they're saying like when Star Wars was created, like everyone could see some of themselves in Luke, Leia, Han, and Lando. So you're saying that like you can't see yourselves in the Bad Batch because they're a little too light colored for you? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like
the theme that anyone can be great regardless of one's upbringing, that fighting for what's right is always ideal over what's comfortable, and that a family can be found in anything is what has drawn so many people to Star Wars for decades. Yes. DNA does not determine value. Many fans of color were excited for the breadth and depth of which the clones were written. The Maori and Polynesian fans were glad to see themselves as heroes. Were many valuable despite their sameness, way all other clones are. The Clone Wars makes it clear that clones are intrinsically valuable because they're different. Okay. Make it clear that genetic enhancements give them skills. Oh my god. Term
this is
whitewashing began to take hold. Like they're like literally giving us the whole breakdown of the show. Like I'm just okay, just get to it. Many fans did not say to be fully animated. When Disney revived Clone Wars for one final season, these fans were dismayed to see that not only nothing changed, it was though the whitewashing became worse with the full render. Tech looked and sounded like a British man. Many people like many people likened Hunter to Sylvester Stallone's Rambo. Sure, there was a lot of
yeah,
confusion over Echo's complete lack of melanin,
that's stupid. Like it's
but
explained.
like it's not everyone is just kind of poached up in their safe spaces, you know, having access to sunlight or having access to whatever whenever they want. Like these soldiers have been through the ringer, right? So it's like, especially Echo. Fans were also disturbed to see that Wrecker, the clone who arguably most resembles Django, is characterized by a number of negative racial stereotypes, including being violent, short-tempered, intellectually inferior, and to quote voice actor D. Bradley Baker, childlike. They're like reaching here. I feel like they're reaching for something, right? Like in
if
my
and if
opinion,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
in my opinion, there's a lot of tropes that they copy, right? But I don't think they have the preconceived notions to whitewash the character. I mean, I feel like anyone of any skin tone can be these characters. So I don't know why it has to be strictly about what their skin color is to be, and then using that. Like there's a lot of characters with these characterizations that are white, black, Asian. Like it's just that type of character for the squad, right? It's very strange.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if the Bad Batch is guilty of anything, it's just having like pretty tropey characters. Like these characters are very, very like they've been you've seen these characters in 1,000 different things over the course of the years. Like there's you've got like the leader who's uses a knife and like he's a commander, blah blah blah. Then you've got like the techie guy who's a nerd and he's into all these gadgets and stuff. And you've got like the brawler, the brute, who's bigger than everybody else and like just likes to fight, but isn't
But he
very
doesn't have a
smart.
brain. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
super cliche, and it's like
Yeah,
to like think that this is something new, right? Like, and using those cliches as a reason to push, I don't know, some weird racist agenda is very bizarre to me. Like that's like that I couldn't in a million years I wouldn't have ever thought that this would have been an issue, right? It's bizarre.
how bizarre.
Anyone in the chat, like, can you vouch for this? I'm trying to figure out. I don't know, but I don't think they need to do more. And with diversity, they should make Tech and Echo gay or what? Oh, honestly, that is kind of where a lot of things. I think what your favorite show, Zach.
Breaking Bad.
No, no. What was Willow? Like Willow was all about two lesbian characters, right?
I stopped watching after the second episode because I didn't like how it felt like a CW show. Like the dialogue was so bad,
Yeah.
and the dialogue pissed me off. I didn't have an issue with like one of the main characters being lesbian. Like it's fine. The way it was written really pissed me off because
Like, yeah.
it
Yeah, like,
didn't
that's
feel
not
like
the
a
problem.
fantasy.
It's just, like, shoehorned in there just for the sake of doing it, right? But it's not a
Yeah,
problem. It's just, like, if the writing is great, then who gives a shit, right? But
exactly. My problem is not when you have a main character who's lesbian. My problem is when you have a main character who's lesbian, but you don't write a good show, and then you use the lesbian character as a shield against criticism, and you're like, "We have a lesbian character. Like, what are you? Like, are you anti-LGBTQ? Like, what's wrong with you?" It's like, "No, you just didn't write a good story." Like, you can't use diversity as a shield. Like, that doesn't protect you from criticism against your story. Like that's all that I'm saying with Willow. Like Willow just needed better writing. Um,
like, there must be, like, something deeper down, and, like, this isn't they're just using this as a catalyst for some kind of trauma or something that's unchecked, right? And it's
I
reaching
don't
heavily, but it's like, what are they trying to do here? It doesn't help their case. But anyway, yeah, she said they all wear helmets all the time. They're in hiding, not on vacation. What? One old white guy and Wanda Sykes got introduced. One that doesn't exactly fit the white image. Yeah, I mean, it's like they brought Wanda Sykes in. Doesn't matter if she's black or not. She happens to be black, and it doesn't seem like they want to be exclusive of other races. It's just that's not the argument here. There needs to be there's so many other things that Star Wars needs to do better than to make the animation textile and the render darker skin toned. I don't know, man. Like I'm usually way darker, right? But because I haven't, played college tennis or because I'm not out in the sun all the time anymore, I'm in here editing, I'm a lot lighter and my skin tone's a
Same
lot lighter
here.
than it usually is, right? Yeah. It's just natural. Um you're Italian, so you can probably if
I
you were out
can
in the sun
tan,
all day,
yeah.
you could be really tan, right? And it's just I don't know. I don't know if melanin is like the argument to be making when it comes to criticizing Bad Batch. And it's like, what if the characters were all white? What if clones were all white? Then what would this be like? What would the outrage be then? Would it be
There would
still
be no outrage, I guess. I mean, or the outrage would have been I don't know.
right?
It's kind of ridiculous. Like of all the things to complain about, this is like the Bad Batch has plenty of things wrong with it. Like we said, like the characters are literally caricatures of like standard like tropes, like whether it's like video game tropes where you have like the party system with like a tank and a rogue and like a I don't know, like a healer or a tech dude. It's like there's too tropey, and that's perfect for like a kid's cartoon. Like that's basically what this is. We would like it to be more complex. We've said that 1,000 times, but when it boils down to it, this is a children's show. So don't be talking about like melanin on on a children's show. Like, and plus he's
Well,
like
it's
they
like in
very clearly
animation too.
explained.
It's just
Yeah,
so bizarre.
they very clearly explained why he's so pale and messed up. Like the dude doesn't have an arm because the separatists like carved into him. But it's dumb.
Yeah,
It's a dumb complaint. Like if you want to complain about something racial in Star Wars, complain about how like they reduced Finn's role to a ridiculous degree over the course of the sequels. Like that was an issue that I have and that John Boyega has, and rightfully so, because we've talked on this before, was probably the most promising character in the Force Awakens. Like I wanted him to be the Jedi, and then they just sidelined him more and more as the
yeah.
series went on.
Like that's a great argument, right? Saying that is it like what was the reasoning for fraudulently advertising Finn to be the main protagonist, only to sideline him um in the first one, thinking that he's going to have a more prominent role in the second and third one, only to literally get progressively worse as each episode progresses, right? And I think that's a very valid argument. Like you could go on all day about how they just literally had no plan and that they were catering to a certain audience, certain demographic, whatever the argument is, right? And it's Like that's valid criticism. This is going nowhere. This isn't going to advance anything. There's going to be two sides that are kind of going to just talk shit on each other and be divisive, and that just ruins the fandom even more, right? And we're out
Yeah.
here trying to reunite everyone, right? And not play favorites or play sides. We're trying to hear it. Like I want to hear what this problem is, right? Like I genuinely want to understand where they're coming from, because it is important, obviously, to understand the perspective here. But I just can't, for the life of me, make sense of it.
And going back to Willow very briefly, I was glad that one of the main characters is a lesbian because one of my criticisms of Disney is always like they tout themselves as being super PC, and they'll have like two characters in the background of a movie kiss that are gay, and then they're
Hmm.
like, "Wow, look at us, we're so groundbreaking," but we're
Hmm.
gonna we're gonna cut that out for China. We're gonna
Yeah,
cut that out, and it's like, well, you can't cut out the main character being openly lesbian, so that's
yeah.
good. But unfortunately, the writing of that show sucked from what I saw. So
They're
progress,
just
I
ticking.
guess.
Just seems like they're ticking boxes that they have to, right? They don't actually feel that way. They're just taking boxes for more money and at the expense of actually caring about the story, right? But yeah, Pat Wannabe, that was clearly a personal reaction to a specific, a narrowly specific point of view. And the article wasn't even about Star Wars. Yeah, well, if anything, like the first three paragraphs, they were just describing Star Wars as we know it and as it should be. And then they went off on a tangent, kind of contradicting, yeah, like Zach's contradicting the points that they literally made about it being inclusive and us being able to identify ourselves in any character, right? So like why can't you do that here? Why is this a problem now all of a sudden? Which was like so weird. But I digress.
Stupid is as stupid does.
Even the Lego specials made him a Jedi. Yeah. Well, they hinted at him being force sensitive too, right?
Yeah, he's like, "Ray,
And
I've
then
got
they're
something
just
to
like
tell you." And then they never had him tell her. Like, I hate that movie so much.
that, and then a different story for another time, right? From Maz Kanata, and then Maz is just like, in the next movie, like, "Hey, what's up? I don't remember saying anything to you. What we just met, right?" And nothing
Ugh,
happened.
God, that movie, dude. Yeah, for those of you who haven't heard me say this, I do think The Rise of Skywalker is the worst Star Wars movie. Even worse than The Last Jedi. I would rather watch The Last Jedi because The Last Jedi like pisses me off. The Rise of Skywalker puts me to sleep. It's just like exhausting to watch that movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the sequels except for Force Awakens in a while. It's been a long time.
Is it Colin? Is it worth like? Should I watch it? Because I've seen like I think I watched the first two episodes, and then I just fell off of it. Should I like watch it again if the story's good?
I mean, I watched, I think, 15 minutes of it, and then I watched reviews on YouTube, and that was kind of all I was really cared for, right? I should probably go back and watch the originals because I hear the originals are really good.
The first,
Um,
yeah. I mean, the only
yeah,
one, Willow. I liked what like the I loved the Willow movie when I was a kid. Um, yeah, it's got 5.2 on Rotten Tomatoes, or not Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb, 53% Rotten Tomatoes. What sucks is Warwick Davis was good in the show. Like, I liked him. Like, whenever he showed up, it was good. Like, he sounded like he was in a fantasy movie, and then all the young kids, the young 20 somethings, acted like they were living in modern times. And it's like, God, why are you talking like this? It's totally taking me out of it.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, there was another criticism about that show. Like like the sets looking bad or something, like it being like Rings of Power but worse.
Everything looked
Um,
too clean. There's like your a
yeah,
typical fantasy thing where all the outfits look pristine, whereas in like Game of Thrones, which does this really well, everything looks grimy and dirty and lived in, and it really you buy that this is an actual functioning universe rather than like, oh, you just bought those costumes for the show.
speaking
This is Star Wars Twitter, huh?
Yeah, I was like, just speaking of what we were just talking about, it says, "Hey, by the way, clones in animated Star Wars have been whitewashed since the Clone Wars movie came out in 2008. It is not a new woke thing to complain about. People have been saying this for a while. Tamara Morrison's likeness has been misrepresented for 15 years. So this is a pro unwhitewash the Bad Batch. Very interesting.
I don't like. Again, could they be darker? Sure, but if you look at like a clone, like look at Commander Cody and then pull up Obi-Wan and put them next to each other. They don't look their skin colors are different. Like they're clearly not white. Like they're tanner. It's like you and me. I think you and me, our skin tones, like I'm like Anakin and Obi-Wan skin tone, and then you're like the clones. Like it's that's the difference, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
From
I've always felt represented if that was something that I actually wanted, right? To be represented in media. I've always identified in a lot of white characters because I am half white anyway. But
yeah.
it wasn't because they were like white. It was because of who they were as a character. And that was always my thing, right? Like if there was a character that was, I don't know, Middle Eastern or whatever in Star Wars, and it was like they were Luke, right? If they casted Luke as like some Middle Eastern dude, then I've been like, yeah, I
Jesus.
identify as him just the same way as I did with Luke if he was white. It's just so weird.
I mean, like, yeah, like as a white dude, I understand it's like I can't fully relate to because as a white person, like when I was growing up, like every freaking movie had like the main character was white, and I always was represented. So I can't relate to people who don't feel represented. Like I can't put myself, I can't imagine what that's like, and so it may not be fair of me to critique this, but yeah, because it's like I said, like all the Star Wars protagonists are white, so it's like I've been represented very, very, very well, and I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a point there, but like I said, I mean, I've never chosen race as a reason to feel close or feel connected with a character, right? Like race was never a thing um, for me. Like making like I just like if I liked you as a person and you were a white person, you were a black person, you were an Asian person, you were my friend, right? It's not like I needed to seek certain races for friend groups because I felt like I needed the only way I could relate to a character or feel represented is if they matched my skin tone. I never understood that, but I mean, again, it's just that's just me.
Yeah, I agree with that, Sal. I think they were a bit lighter in Rebels.
I don't remember how they looked in Rebels. I never saw it as like a problem though.
Could you imagine if they whitewashed Ahsoka? They just make her white.
I know they just recast Rosario completely.
they,
Don't even
they
tell
just
anyone,
they just cast Ashley, and they don't say anything, and it's just like it's Ashley.
and they're just like, oh, I don't think she would be a good Ahsoka though, right? Like it's like uncanny how similar, at least for me, Ahsoka looks with Rosario. I always kind of pictured her looking like that anyway. So when I saw her, I was like, I think that's perfect, right? Um, but yeah, that might just be me. Oh, oh, I remember. Wait, this was in Bad Batch? No, this
No,
was
it's
Clone Wars.
Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
that was Clone Wars. Oh, I loved that scene. That was like one scene from Battlefront that you remember that when he
Yeah, because you
yeah,
asked.
yeah. Like why didn't we get that? Why didn't we get that Luke for this Luke?
Because Ryan Johnson wanted to piss everybody off. He even admits that he wanted to cause like a little tizzy.
Yeah, he likes that. How much more of Wanda Sykes' character do you think we'll see?
Uh, I hope that Sid dies and Wanda Sykes replaces
Wanda
her.
Sykes just takes over.
I
Yeah,
have an unreasonable hatred of Sid.
like the whole each episode being like a Saturday morning cartoon and the quest thing is just getting extremely overused, right? So if if tomorrow is literally another one of those episodes, I'm gonna lose my shit. Or if next week is another one of those episodes, I'll
I
lose
was
my
like,
shit.
oh, is there one tomorrow?
Yeah, we get to we get to see them all right now. Well, actually, there are a couple YouTubers that already got to see all of them, right? And then they're gonna
All
act
of
like,
them?
yeah. So, like, yeah, I got to see the whole first season. It's like, well, go fuck yourself. Um, but okay. So 7 and 8 are gonna be like 1 and 2. Are they gonna be together? Oh, they're gonna be together. No, 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 they're
Why?
not. They're not gonna be together.
Yeah, they are. It says February 8th.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. So it's like a
I
part 1,
wonder.
part 2 section. Um,
And then they do the same thing with the finale. The summit sounds like they're going to that mountain at the very end.
these episodes are needed. Like, everyone chill. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but there's a lot of episodes where they have the same formula, right? And they don't actually get anywhere for the story. Like, there's a lot of episodes you could take out completely and just kind of have the plot episodes that move everyone into another location, and have it be done, you know,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
shorter manner, right? But it's
There
like,
there are 2 different kinds of filler episodes. There are the filler episodes that develop character or, like, strengthen a relationship between 2 characters, but then there are filler episodes that do none of that, and they're literally just, like, filler episodes in every sense of the word. And those are the ones that we really don't like on the channel, and Bad Batch season 1 had a few of those.
we're not the kind of people to call everything that doesn't have a cameo a filler episode, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many channels out there that'll be like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this in this episode," because they heard a rumor from an unverified source, and then it doesn't happen. They're like, "Oh, that was a dumb episode. It's a filler." No, like, that's not us, right? Like,
Yeah,
we're not
like
like that. What we're being genuine when we say filler, because it is a filler episode. Not that there's anything wrong with it, because we do like Star Wars, right? We do like watching them, but it is something that's being kind of overdone as of late, and we're not getting everything that we expect anymore, and we want more quality over quantity at this point.
Thanks, Aiden, though. We appreciate that.
Much love, dude. Yeah, we love everyone in here. You guys are all nice. You guys are like the in-betweeners, right? Like, there's one side of the fandom, other side of the fandom, and we're here, right? We just talk both sides and kind of try to understand what the hell's going on. Right? um
Yeah, and we don't, like, politicize it. That's like, I hate when yeah, like, okay, so Star Wars, you can say, has always been a bit political, but it's not, like, been overtly so, like, up in your face about it, and I feel like the fandom is just like, God. It's just we just don't wanna politicize the Star Wars
the-
fandom. We just wanna talk about Star Wars.
and everyone's always, sensitive or offended about something, and it's like, oh, I didn't even like when something like that gets brought up, like the unwhitewashed thing. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. So does that mean that I'm the problem or that you're the problem? I don't know. Right? It's so hard to, like, even try to take a stance there, because you're just like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I hope you don't feel that way anymore. I didn't even think about it that way. And as a mixed breed, if you will, right? I didn't kind of see anything wrong with their skin tones.
Yeah, sounds right. Echo is like our voice in this episode. He's like, "We need to stop doing these jobs for Sid. We need to."
Yeah, I do like characters in movies and in shows that are like the audience, like, reaction to things, right? Usually
Yeah.
that's the comic relief character, right? But in this instance, it's not. It's like someone who's just fed up with having to do the same shit over and over again. Um,
Yeah, I really, really hope Sid dies so that I can rest easy.
we should have like a Sid meme of some sort. We need to have like a full list of memes on here so we can just play them out.
I want Sid dead. I want Sid dead.
We I I want to make a bet. I don't think we'll see her after. Or no, do you think they'll even return if they don't have the cargo?
Yeah, and she'll like chastise them. She'll be like, you didn't get the cargo? Wow,
You
what
didn't
what
you
useless
didn't give me
slubs you
my.
are.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have another job for you. Yeah. It's like, God
Yeah.
damn it, we're doing it again. I don't
And
want
this
any more
time you're
jobs.
taking
I want to see character
this.
development. I want to see really sad moments of seeing their fellow clones at war, or having to kill their fellow clones, or seeing, Jedi or something, right? Something else. Seeing the
Yeah.
political uh what is
State.
it? Or yeah, well, seeing like the way Palpatine can be like a master of puppets, right? Being able to see that more. That was something that I thought we were going to see more in Andor, but we didn't, obviously, right? So just seeing him be like the Emperor, that he is, and how he's so smart and so uh manipulative in his political speeches. That's something I've always wanted to see more of, right? And that would be
Here's
cool
a
to see.
here's a question. Which uh which of these episodes do you think is the one where Palpatine shows up? If you had to guess.
Okay. Mm, which one?
Or two. I have my
Could
eyes
it
on.
could it literally be a finale because it's like a new, maybe he submits a new order or something. It could be okay. Hold on. It could be this. Seeing a young Makini in the show, get Giancarlo and voice a younger version.
I'd be
Uh,
down.
it would be cool because then that would um like solidify who he was before and that how he survived all of it, right? It would be cool to see a moment where he hears about Luke, right? Before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool because then it would make that scene where he gets scared shitless seeing Luke come in, slicing up all of his droids, right? It would bring even more emotion to that scene.
That'd have to be much later though.
Yeah, it would be. Have you seen the new show that he's in? Where it doesn't matter what order you watch it in because it's the same outcome no matter how you
No,
see it. Kaleidoscope,
I've not.
check it out. Um, it's pretty good. If you were writing the show, how would you have her die? Lightsaber, blaster, force choke, ejected into space, or something else?
I want her thrown into a goddamn sun. Like I want them to somehow be like orbiting a star and she's like, "I got a new mission for you guys." And
He's like,
then
walk the plank. They
I
have like
want
the space
Omega
plank.
I want Omega to just like Spartan kick her out of the airlock into a sun.
She's like, jump, bitch. And then it's just
No
like, boom.
more no more side quests. Kicks her out of
Just
out of space. Yeah,
yeah. Oh god.
that's how Sid dies.
I think that's one of the best writing, some of the best writing I've ever heard in my life.
Thanks, brother.
The crossing and retrieval, entering Senate, rescuing Grogu. Um,
Would you want Grogu to show up or would you
no.
roll your eyes?
I would roll my eyes super hard because they just like, oh my god, you can't have anyone else, like you can't
It
create
has to be
anything else.
Grogu.
It has to be Grogu because he sells millions of dollars every year.
I do want to know like who snuck him out of the temple, but I wonder if we'll see that. I we have to like that's the only thing that I'd want to see Grogu in. I'd want to if they're gonna show that, then fine, but I don't want him like sticking around. I don't want him to become like a part of the crew.
Do more Omega.
Do more Omega impressions, please.
Hunter.
Hunter, tick,
Oh god.
echo.
We could just predict what Omega's gonna do each episode and then just voice those lines and then see how
Moochie.
much of it comes true. It's Moochie.
I miss my friend Moochie. What if
Oh.
Gungi saved Grogu?
Spark kicks in into a star. Fucking god damn it. Oh. I have such a soft spot for like accents though, so like I just love hearing her talk no matter what she says. I'm just like, oh, that's
Sid?
so cute. No,
Sid?
no, Omega.
I got a mission for you, Alex.
Like, fuck off. No
I'm
more,
sending you
and
to the
then
Mustafar
no
system.
more side quests.
No more side quests.
Okay, predictions. We were talking about Palpatine. What episode he's gonna be in? Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Um, I think okay. Well, I think Metamorphosis is gonna be when they meet Cody, probably, and Cody has to decide or something. Um, Clone
I
Conspiracy,
think
Truth and
it's gonna be
Consequences.
a dumb episode about some insect like alien thing.
Oh, it's gonna be a
Metamorph.
side quest where they fight a
Yeah.
metamorphosized alien.
It's
It's like not. It's like
metamorphosizing.
it's a metamorphosizing book. Tick.
Tick. She always
she's like, Deck's like, what? He's like, no, it's a tick. He's like, oh,
oh shit.
it's a metamorphosized tick. It's like, what? No, not you, tick. It's a tick. I don't know what you're saying. Oh shit.
Rika. I just love when she says anything.
Oh fucking hell. Okay.
You
So
know,
let's
what I wish
assume they're
they
not all surface level episode titles, and there's
Okay, well
actually something more to them.
that's a crazy thing that you just said.
What about Watto? Will he appear?
Watto will not appear. Jesus Christ.
Oh fuck. Okay. The Crossing. I don't know what that's gonna be, but I feel like Clone Conspiracy, Truth and Consequences is gonna be a Cody Crosshair, probably double episode.
You know how in Pokemon they say that they have like Ash say the title of every episode before the episode starts? I wish they did that with Omega, where it comes up like
Faster.
episode 2, Ruins of War. It's so funny.
Entombed.
Pabu.
Fuck.
Retrieval.
Plan
Motus.
99. Oh god.
Mwah.
You know,
Motus.
that would actually be really funny, and that would actually be really creative, but they're not there yet. They're getting there.
That's season 3.
Chuck Norris roundhouse kick Sid. Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Okay. Anyway, the Clone Conspiracy, Truth and Consequences, Crosshair Cody, Fasta, probably going to be a side quest of some sort.
Entombed.
Let's see. Who's entombed? Just like a creature is entombed, and they have to fight the creature.
Entombed with the creature.
They're in a tomb. Could it be like they're in a tomb somewhere? They're in a clone tomb.
And at some point, Omega says the line, "Oh no, we're entombed."
And then the episode title comes up.
Yeah.
And it just has like the Seinfeld like
It's just Jerry Seinfeld like, so I was entombed at one point, and it's literally just like Seinfeld.
Like from that one episode when Omega was entombed.
Yeah. I actually think it's gonna be 7 and 8 where he pops up. Or the finale. It'll Palpatine.
Palp?
Yeah.
I think it'll be 99. It seems to me like I wonder what the tribe could be though, when you think about it.
Yeah, maybe I keep thinking of just like dumb side questy episodes. Like,
yeah, me too. I'm like, I just assume that's what they're gonna go, but tribe could be like a Jedi thing, maybe. Like that's where they meet Gungi, maybe.
Oh yeah, it could be the Kashyyyk episodes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tribe's
or Pabu. What is Pabu? What the hell does that even mean? Does that mean something, or is that like a character?
Type it in, figure it out.
Ah.
Chat, help.
Pabu is a mischievous male fire ferret who belongs to Bolin from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That helps a lot.
Yeah. It's also a San Francisco restaurant, Pabu Izakaya, a Japanese restaurant in San Francisco. So I'm guessing it's the name of
It's Babu Frick's cousin. Oh my god, we need his hey meme thing.
Pabu.
Oh, that should be like if you become a new member, the Pabu thing.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. We need to do that now. Guys, save your membership subscriptions for next week. We're gonna have that firing and on all cylinders. Babu Frick will return. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time. Or we can have like an Ewok getting shot or something. Be like, you aided in the killing of the evil Ewoks. Thank you, or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Babu Frick is my favorite part of Rise of Skywalker by far.
We need to stay on brand though. I'm thinking something for evil Ewok. Chat, help me. It'd be cool if the tribe episode is Quinlan Voss, where the Bad Batch could meet him for the first time. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking it could be something Jedi, but then when we thought of, Gungi, and then Zach said, "Oh, we're probably going to Kashyyyk," that's probably what's going to happen. I have a feeling it's going to be a very short, very sudden episode, and then Gungi's probably going to join the group, and then they're gonna, and then Omega and Gungi are going to go retrieve something in episode 10, and that's when they fight together. It's probably going to be them something. At the crossing, they get split up. They're going to get split up in episode 9. And then Omega and Gungi are gonna have to retrieve something just by themselves. So it's gonna be like a
Yes, yeah.
kid thing.
Metamorphosis. Omega is gonna go through a metamorphosis, and she's gonna grow wings,
Yeah.
and and then they're gonna go to an outpost in episode 12, the outpost, and then
Yeah.
Pabu is gonna be at the outpost in episode 13, and then they're gonna talk to Pabu. But at some point, there's gonna be a tipping point, and Pabu's gonna turn against them and push them off the summit. And as they're falling, they're gonna be like, Omega, we're gonna execute Plan 99, and then they're gonna execute Plan 99, which involves Omega using her wings that she
Mm.
metamorphosized to catch all of them and fly them to safety. We
For
don't even
some
need to
reason,
watch the show.
I have a strong feeling that's gonna be even better than what's gonna happen. But that remains to be
Probably.
seen. The Babu podcast. Then we would find Omega is force sensitive. Did we both click that at the same time?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm just lacking then. I don't think she's gonna be force sensitive. Or at least if she is, that would explain
Something
the
going
first.
on with
That
her.
would explain the first episode, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if she's like somehow mildly force sensitive, because she had some moments in like the first season where it was like, "Are you?"
Yeah.
See ya, Sal. Thanks for stopping by.
Later, Cell. Yeah, we're closing up soon anyway. We just gotta
Closing
close
up
up
shop.
our thoughts about when we're gonna see Palpatine. What do you guys all think? When do you guys think we're gonna see Palps? Think it's gonna be at the end, in the middle, or are we gonna get? Is he the solitary clone this whole time? Dun dun dun. Boom. Palpatine is actually a clone of clones, and he was the last surviving clone.
Technically, he did clone
Oh yeah,
himself.
he did clone himself. Fucking hell, I forgot about that. Oh fuck.
Yeah, that is
That
a thing
happened.
that happened.
I'm thinking. I think next episode is going to be really good, and then we're going to get 2 filler episodes, and then Tribe's going to be good, and then the 2 episode part of 7 and 8 is going to be fun because we're going to get more Crosshair stuff, Crosshair and Gungi and Cody and Rex and stuff, and then it's going to be either there's like a big moment there and they go their own separate ways, or they join together and they go through the crossing, and they get separated.
I
And then-
think Gungi should be Quinlan Voss's new Padawan.
And then we just never hear about them again.
Or they do a show. I'd be down
Yeah,
for
I
it.
guess. Yeah, Quinlan was a good character. He's
And
just
they only
mentioned everywhere.
Yeah, they only scratched the surface with him. Like, I'm assuming you've only seen the the only thing he was in was the Clone Wars, but he was better in like the Dark Disciple novel. Super interesting character, and like in Legends, he's good too. But yeah, like they have an untapped like gold mine with him, and they should hop to that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what character I'd really like to see in this that isn't like overused. And
Watto.
Quinlan Voss, well, yeah, but Quinlan Voss is like a good example of that, right? I'm just trying to think, like, even if we get new characters or just like more Imperial officers that are competent at what they do, that's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I like Admiral Rampart.
Yeah, I don't mind him, right? Like I like him more than most of the rebels in Clone Wars. Or no, sorry, most of the rebels Imperials.
What if they go to Tatooine and Omega kills Watto with her bow?
That's a side quest.
That would be. I've watched that side quest though.
Yeah. We would have like our live reactions, and you would just be bawling, crying.
That would be.
We lost our
mascot.
We lost our mascot for the channel, even though we're evil Ewoks. Watto's our fucking mascot. We don't know what brand we are. We don't know our brand at all.
You won't have any slaves anymore. And she just shoots Watto.
It's gonna be exciting too, because Kat's gonna come back next week, and she's gonna be able to. We're gonna get to hear her opinions on the whole thing, right? It's
Yeah.
not just gonna be two mouth breathers right here saying nonsense. But anyway, I think that about sums up everything
Yeah.
for this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will be live again for the watch party. Is it next Tuesday?
It's Tuesday, isn't it?
It's every Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday. Are you gonna do a solo stream next week or no?
Probably on
Okay.
like Monday. I don't. Well,
Yeah.
Loosely call it Monday.
Just join the Discord for all updates. We'll tune you in there, and we let everyone know when we're live. But then yeah, so Kat will be back for Tuesday and Thursday next week, and then we'll keep on keeping on. We're gonna get Babu Frick in here for
We're
our
gonna get him
memes
on the stream.
every time. Just like a stuffed animal. Every time we new member, it's Babu Frick. So much to look forward to there.
Yeah, go to sleep, Colin. It is.
Yeah, thanks for sticking
extremely
around,
late
dude.
there. Appreciate
Much
it.
love, man. But anyway, with that, may the force be with you all, and we will see you guys next week with Kat.
With Kat. See ya.